The story opens on a quiet Sunday morning in the suburban neighborhood of Cedar Hollow. Ethan Reyes, a quiet, hard-working single father and former mechanic, is preparing breakfast for his 8-year-old daughter, Mea. Their life is simple but peaceful. Ethan works from home restoring vintage car parts, and they've only lived in the community for 6 months. The peace shatters when flashing police lights illuminate their driveway. 2 officers approach, tense and cautious, demanding to know where the stolen silver Lexus E is. Confused, Ethan insists he doesn't know what they're talking about, until they show him a photo of the car parked in his garage. The caller? Margaret Holloway, known to everyone as the HOA Karen, president of the Homeowners Association, a woman who polices noise levels, trash bins, and lawn lengths with military precision. She claims her car was stolen, identified Ethan's garage via security footage from a neighbor's camera, and called 911 in a panic. Ethan unlocks the garage. The car inside is his own, restored over 2 years, matte black with custom rims, nothing like her silver Lexus. But Margaret refuses to back down, insisting the police check serial numbers and demand answers. The confrontation draws a crowd. Mea watches from the window, eyes wide with fear. The police confirm Ethan's car is legally registered and untouched. Still, the damage is done. Ethan feels violated, humiliated. That night, as Mea asks, "Daddy, are we bad people?" his heart breaks. In the days that follow, the incident spreads through the neighborhood like wildfire. Though the police cleared Ethan, gossip thrives. Some neighbors avoid him, others side with Margaret, whispering about that garage, suspicious behavior, and who knows what else he's hiding. Ethan, once hopeful about building a fresh start after a difficult divorce, begins to withdraw. He stops attending community events, avoids walking Mea to school, and considers moving. But Mea, perceptive and kind-hearted, starts drawing pictures of their house with bright suns and smiling neighbors, symbols of the peace she still believes is possible. Meanwhile, Margaret wrestles with her own turmoil. She lives alone since her husband passed, and her strict rule-following stems from a need for control in a world that feels increasingly unstable. Her son, visiting from out of state, gently points out how isolated she's become. "You're not protecting the neighborhood, Mom," he says. "You're pushing everyone away." A small moment occurs. Mea leaves a handmade drawing at Margaret's mailbox, for the lady who loves rules. "Here's a rainbow for your garden." Margaret stares at it, silent, then places it on her fridge. A week later, a local news segment about a neighborhood tensions briefly mentions the false accusation. Ethan is interviewed briefly, his voice calm but heavy. "I just want to raise my daughter in a place where people talk before they point fingers." The story catches the attention of an elderly neighbor, Mrs. Delgado, who lives across the street with security cameras. She reviews her footage and discovers the real truth. The night of the call, someone did briefly approach Margaret's Lexus, but it wasn't Ethan. It was a delivery driver who accidentally opened the wrong car, key fob glitch, panicked, and drove off in his van. He returned the car an hour later, unharmed, to the curb. Mrs. Delgado shares the footage with the HOA board and the police. The mistake was real, but so was Margaret's rush to blame. Shaken, Margaret watches the video. Her hands tremble. She realizes she never verified the facts. She acted out of fear, not truth. That evening, she walks to Ethan's house, unannounced. She doesn't knock at first, just stands on the porch, clutching a small potted lavender plant, Mia's favorite. Ethan opens the door cautiously. Margaret doesn't make excuses. She simply says, "I was wrong. I let fear speak louder than kindness. I'm sorry, for the call, for the scene, for making your daughter feel unsafe in her own home. Silence. Then Ethan nods. Apology accepted. But trust, that takes time. Margaret doesn't expect forgiveness. She only asks if she can attend the upcoming neighborhood block party, not as HOA president, but as a neighbor. At the event, Ethan brings his restored car for a show and shine. Kids marvel at it. MEA beams, and near the end, Margaret approaches with a folder. She's proposed changes to the HOA, monthly community circles, a kindness board, and a rule that disputes must be discussed before involving authorities. No grand speeches. Just small steps. As the sun sets, Ethan and Margaret share a quiet moment by the grill. We all make mistakes, he says. What matters is what we do after. She nods. Next time, I'll knock first.